Yeah, there's three cemeteries down there actually. To look at it, you would think there's just one. But you have the city cemetery on the western end, then you have the Presbyterian in the middle, and the Masonic Lodge on the end, on the east end of it. So there's actually three cemeteries in it. Back in the 30s, Moses Austin's grave was, they tried to break in and steal his body. Some people from Texas came up here. And they were having some kind of a deal down there where they wanted to move all the old time Texas big shots and people of the
Historical figures.
historical people of the time back to Texas and bury him. So they had come up here and they thought they was going to dig him up.
They bypassed the normal legal procedures.
Yeah, and he got caught. Some people turned him in, and they had a big fuss about it. But
Did they go to jail?
yeah, they took him to jail and they let him go. But they left without his body. Put it that way. And the governor, I think, apologized, to the people up here, and it was a big to-do at the time. Put it that way.
Was his wife also buried with him at the time?
Yes, yeah.
So were they planning to exhume both of them?
Did what now?
Were they planning to dig up both of them?
I don't think they give that a thought, probably. They probably didn't even realize that she was in there. They probably wouldn't have known which one is which if they got to him. Yeah, they was both under the same tomb, so I don't know how they were going to distinguish it unless there was a garment left or something.
Hello, my name is Terry. This video will cover our investigation of Potosi, Missouri. It will be broken down into 3 individual movies covering each site location separately. This will be released over a series of weeks. The first segment will deal with the haunted cemetery. Our first investigation dated back to the year 2000. We've since been back there in the years 2006, 13, and 14. This will be our 2015 investigation footage. In the first clip, I want you to listen for a very faint, weak, whispery female voice. This is interesting because there were no women present at the time this was recorded. It showed up on our playback of our recordings, but none of us heard this at the time this was recorded. This is a traditional EVP recording. During this segment, you will hear in the background the sound of equipment running, but you will also hear a male EVP voice. It's saying either Nate or Nathan. This is something none of us heard at the time this was being recorded. It's also interesting because among the people who were present, there were 2 who have a stepbrother named Nate. We don't know if this is somehow related to them or if something was trying to communicate and using the name Nate as a reference point to contact them. The next site in the cemetery that we visited was the historic location of Moses Austin, considered the grandfather of Texas. When we started the Ghost Box session, very little was occurring. One person who was in our group decided to go up to the grave and knock twice on it. After this was done, there was an immediate reply. Several insults were hurled back, and if you listen very carefully, you can make out what is very clearly being said. Said bastard.
Yeah.
After this initial awkward introduction, we were able to communicate with it directly and have it reply to several of our questions. Its first comment back to us was, "I'm here." The city of Potosi has recently been hit with a major tornado. Many of the buildings have been damaged, including the local church, which is adjacent to this property. We asked it if it was aware of the damage done by the tornado, and it made a direct reply from the damage of the tornado.
What do you think about the damage done to the church?
Window cover.
Window something. Window cover something.
Window cover.
The next question was with regards to whether or not the body had been successfully retrieved and brought back to Texas. The voice replied, no.
Did they succeed in getting you back to Texas? No.
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 No,